We are back with a little bit more of mystic and self help. So, the spiritual self help group, come on board for believing in yourself. And that is, we have a full moon coming up. And as always, there are times where I will be sharing more channeling, other times less. And then as our calendar gets fixed, you will not be seeing as much content every day because well, membership content, you know how it works if any of your content creators. But in the meantime, let's enjoy what we're talking about. And that is you will know love as a constant when you are also love. And that is an unconditionally and present human being when you're yourself. So being yourself, it's all about the inner child adult is what I'm going to begin using as a word. And it's a functional adult. It's because you don't need to reparent yourself. So you do have the capacity to understand the word I have my 1-year-old securely attached. You don't have to be anywhere near the ones that find it hard to believe. So anyone who tells me they have a hard time believing in unresolved trauma, yes, I nod my head and allow myself to know there's another one that bites the dust with the low self-esteem, indirect communicators, passive aggressive. They don't know that healthy boundaries are active conversations and that you're growing older and you will grow more blissful if you have tended to your inner child parts and become a grown-up version of yourself. It's called the prefrontal cortex, and that's when you're going to say, wow, I get to do mindfulness and meditation. Ooh, and yoga, and there's no demons anywhere. Okay, great. So divine feminine here, we just had an episode where I told you how sciences keeps us grounded. Now I want to expand on that one in a minute. So spiritual self-help is only going to be helpful to the ones who know pseudoscience is not bullshit. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Oh, and self-help, it's not crap, and it is, and it isn't. It all depends on your perspective. Out of a bunch of different course material, the one that is coming to my brain today is this one. You will not be able to actively be an independent self-soother of your own nervous system if you don't know. So like me with my panic attacks, this is not a race or a contest. I have actively known how to regulate my nervous system independently from how horrible, and can you tell the tone? See, I'm not whining about it because I don't have a whine button. Why? Because actively, when I hear whining, I think if I were in the middle of, like, I don't know, stuff's falling from the sky, I'm in the middle of nowhere, that's when I would whine. You see? So my word, when I say whining, I think of I would whine, me, Maria, when I'm in the middle of near to death something experiences. Just so we're clear, which is why the only person who does the laundry thing is the Zen master that you can go find somewhere else, not at IHP. Here we say, wow, we have emotions and we know how to regulate our embodied brain. It's called your nervous system as well as everything else that's going to come out of my mouth. And I don't do linear, I do mix it all up. And any smart brain, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable, that's my acronym, will be flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable. That's Daniel Siegel's acronym. Therefore, you will have the inclination of wanting to be your integrated brain. Otherwise, you won't like anything here because those are Cuscos, have rigid and chaotic brains, which become the self-bridled expression, adaptive child. Let me read that. Which are actively the ones who don't want to learn how to do the self-regulating that I'm about to tell you. Okay. So what they like to do is whine, quote unquote. They're not whining though, because their poor feelings, they didn't have the luck that I did. I got to learn how to self-regulate because I have a mom who let me be a child. And then she also had a ventral vagal state with me. So that means my mammalian heritage learned how to, we don't learn by ourselves. That's why your first year of life matters, which is why that adaptive child avoidant attachment lady who decided I don't want to do what my therapists are saying because they said I'm doing a good job and that I should keep on journaling and doing mindfulness and meditation, and I don't want to because it's boring or something like that. And plus people are all fucked up. So her statement of why will I keep my nervous system in an excruciatingly painful 1-year-old, because all people are fucked up. To my ears, it sounded like being back in high school when I asked about homework on a Friday evening because I'm interested in learning, and all these kids booed me, and I didn't even flinch because I'm thinking, I don't want to be stupid, so I don't fear inadequacy. I actively think, wow, they don't want to learn. Are they going to be monkey, donkey, butterfly brains? Or will they be the one-pointed, or will they be the ones that are illumined who have people following them and they still sound like stupid people to me? That's stupid. I will say it. I'm stupid too, but when I hear stupid people, it's because they don't want to do any mindful mindset. Oh, wait, hold on. What was it, Daniel? Awareness. Excuse me. It's maximum uncertainty. Let me not forget to spell out. Again, I'm a divine feminine. I'm married to darkness. It's not darkness in the way of the medieval times that keep on using Lucifer. Poor Lucifer. I mean, he gets used in everything and anything, and anyone who's smart enough will know the lack of educated human beings. They don't know Patrick McNamara. Neuroscientists. I bet you they call him pseudoscience because they don't want to believe his data that shows that nightmare after nightmare, there's a fear receptor in your brain as your brain tries to heal from trauma. But hey, let's not go tell the people who think yoga brings demons out of you, because they listen to people who actively got a really not great experience and didn't go to good therapy to get themselves checked up, and they went flip-flop. That's what happens to adaptive child brains. Yes, they flip from one end to the other because they think it's only good or evil stuff. So they have split thinking, it's called. Anyone know about flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain? I do. It's called, wow, I grew up. I organically grew up with my brain. So I got out of the adolescent brain, which is 12 to 24, and then I moved into Maria's executive decision functioning brain, which serves this life here, pure consciousness, divine feminine speaking, mystic here. Anyone, hopefully, and actually I do know the ones who are meant to be following this. Our full moon is great. So the whiners are human suffering love. Yes, they consistently ignore every single piece of data that I will ever share. I find it hard to believe that I need to learn how to harness. Yes, read Robert Sapolsky, please, Determined. Although it's qualitative, I believe in nature, not quantitative. He still makes a very good and valid point that supports the rest of the points that I've been learning. See, I don't want to do this. This is not what I want to do. But that's where I actively don't make up shit from my asshole about what it is to be human. I taught that I would learn more since I help people to be their self, you see? And now when people say, I don't want to be me, I don't say anything. I already stopped a long time ago, but you better bet. Right now, I'm like, oh, wow. Hey, so because I know that I have Cusco here, are you going to try to tell me why you're right, you cute 3-year-old? Are you going to prove you're right to me? Yes, you will, because I will not interrupt you as you keep on speaking to me. You want to, oh, don't worry. I won't even have you pull at my string. I'm going to be quiet here. Let me sit beautifully in silence as the gender stereotypes would want. I'll be the stupid lady right now. Unbridled self-expression. Oh, I hear all of your pain. I'm so sorry for you. No, I won't be speaking. I'll be quiet. Shh. Don't do anything. Just no, don't even nod. Let me look like a little quiet mummy for a minute. Oh, okay. Now you won't retaliate though, because I'll make sure to know how to do the right kind of movement, and not an eggshell type, by the way. No. And that's very sad for the ones who end up in the eggshell stuff. That's a whole other story. Nope, I'm just waiting for them to withdraw, and then I'm going, okay, that one has porous boundaries, that one has rigid, that one has, okay, cool. So they're all in that other land. They won't be near me anymore. Okay, good. So adaptive child, yeah, they don't want to be around grown-ups. You know why? The Jacob voice, they don't like it. We don't take their side. So if they start to hang out, it means they will understand equanimity, that they're not in the land of anyone gives you a mantle. You didn't do anything special, child. No, you have emotions like anybody else. What was it? Awareness, maximum uncertainty. Anyone know of human secondary consciousness? We all have it. So the Zen master with laundry, he's making a big deal. Oh, it's something along the lines of this. Someone once said, and I've shared this quote. So again, I share things, but it doesn't mean that I feel emotions this way, just FYI. And I'm laughing because I actively love emotions. It's what makes me human, and we all have them. I never got it until I did, why people don't want to do emotions. They don't want to be vulnerable with their own self and their own brain, let alone with another person. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't know love yet. You can't cry and love and have all those emotions. You don't know what it's like to be a human yet. You're not yet Pinocchio, a real boy, real girl, real day. Wait till you get to your ventral vagal state. Do the yoga, do the mindfulness, do the journaling. Now, if you have secure attachment, you're going to be a sweet, cheesy pie immediately. If you don't, then that one is where I want to give you a hug if you want it. And then you're going to continue doing good therapy, and then we're going to also continue doing mindfulness journaling, and that's why spiritual is not a career, it's a lifestyle, and true spirituality is a life of meaning and connection beyond the soul self. So Divine Feminine knows that. I learned from Jesus. Then I, use Sadhguru's quotes because he's popular now, which is great. I love you, Sadhguru. Not impressed on how you got to where you got, but I love you. So here's the quote. Someone once said, there comes a time in your life when you walk away from all the drama and people create it. No, I don't walk away from people. That's not nice. I just say, hey, there's plenty of fish in the sea. And then sometimes say, it's normal because life is full of emotions. We all get emotional. That means, like Daniel Siegel's taught me, we're doing something important. It was really great, Dan, to hear you explain how eustress, not distress, is what we, with the integrated brains and restored embodiment, self-aware life can live, which I know all about, but it doesn't mean you don't get anxious. You still have anxiety, unless you have an actual physiological way of not having that, which, anyone who doesn't have it, I'm going to say they don't benefit from that, because then they won't know how some feelings are. And that's because it's not laundry, Zen Master, when you know it's okay to be afraid. And I got to walk through fear with my lovely Dr. Albert Wong as he processed one of my dreams where I had a little bit of trauma fragment charges, because the only emotion that is a very big deal to me is actual fear. And I got to have pure fear. It was not fun. It was even worse than my panic attacks. I will tell you that. I got through where I was going, though. So I was like, wow, I made it. Oh, I'll never forget that day. It was horrible. And see, I'm smiling because I actively got through a line to get on a plane. I got on a plane. I got to another place. Then I got to an airport. Then I said, okay, I'm going to unload right now. Then I got on another plane. And then I got finally to where I was at. And then I had to, because my body, like anybody else's, it takes a certain amount of time for the chemistry to completely leave you. And I have introception. That's what a divine feminine. We don't have questions about our emotions. It's called I'm a person. I live inside. So I learned how to now explain to you all why some of us, we can stay in our prefrontal cortex. I have secure attachment. I have a whole 1-year-old. Her name's Maria, right here. Anyone want to join the land of the living? It's not hard, but it does require your voluntary participation to learn to self-soothe, which is what I was going to say people don't want to do. And I learned in a number of my courses, the very thing that will not help you is if you don't choose to learn how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, which means you don't say it's laundry. I don't want to do it. No, that actively doesn't help you at all. That just leaves you at that same line. It's, I'm breathing. What am I going to do that I know I want to do? So for me, I breathe. Okay, where are my loved ones? Come give me hugs, people. And I stay in my safe quarters, but I actively do things to comfort myself. And that's how you expand a window of tolerance to window welcome. Oh, you don't go around people who want to actively re-traumatize themselves, because there are people who actively re-traumatize. It's very, I want to use nice words because I understand when people don't understand when they're doing it, but I will give you a visual. That way it's going to be a lot softer if I give you a visual. So let's say it's somebody who likes to pick at a scab, because they are actively a person who really should look into that. You don't want to pick at a scab, because that tells me you don't love your body. As the grown-ups can explain to you what picking at a scab is going to do, it's going to leave you a scar. Don't give me some dumbass teenager attitude, because again, I don't joke around when it comes to inner and outer well-being. So anything that is short of let me tell you how it works, I don't do the yes, let me pat you and say sure and pick at your scab. No, you can pick at your scab. You're choosing to hurt yourself on purpose. I'm not going to say it's a good thing. I'm not going to blame Lucifer. I'm going to say it's a maladaptive child behavior or adaptive child pattern. You want attention, and I'm going to give you a good therapist if you want. If you don't, then fine. Okay, so I'm on screen, and this is what I'm sharing. I have responsibility. Your mental hygiene, mental health, self-help is for once you're done with it. So picking at a scab, not a good thing. You know what cutting means? Okay, so when it becomes addictive, we got a maladaptive pattern going on. So when people take things seriously, we don't romanticize, we don't demonize. It's not too hard. It's explainable material. The person who cares about their self and the people who care about others will say, okay, here's your options. It's like when you go to a dentist, they give you a lollipop. But if you make too big of a deal, they're going to say, okay, we gave you a lollipop. So essentially, what I'm trying to get to, when somebody did the scab thing, it's a figure of speech, I felt very uncomfortable. I actively understood they're not conscious of what they're unconscious and what they're actively doing. And then smart people explained it to me. And then I was like, okay, so those people, I'm not going to be. That's how we learn healthy boundaries. It's, I know exactly what I'm picking up on as a divine feminine, because, we're all a nervous system. When you're pure consciousness is because you have no ill will. So my gut is a good gut because I'm not comparing myself to you. I know who Maria is, and I know how my nervous system was 2 seconds before being around you. So I will know how to differentiate and link. It's called me plus you, mui. Thank you, Dr. Daniel Siegel. So the whole drama in people, we don't erase people that are dramatic. We learn how to be around people who don't want to get self-help. No, they don't want therapy. They actively don't want to heal their childhood trauma charges. And they walk around with it and then they project it. So we got Cusco's. It's what we're going to equate it to. Okay, you surround yourself with people who make you laugh. They make us laugh and we make them laugh. But they don't learn self-soothing while some of us do. That's why we can coexist. Human love and human suffering, it coexists. Just we don't do the suffering bit. That's for the temporal junction people that have a Zen master who tell them about laundry, which is why some people right now, they're on a second round. Yeah, they can get out of all the suffering stuff. But if they choose to refuse to ignore the good trauma expert information and then to do self-help if they are ready for it, and therefore to do emotions and thoughts like a emotionally functional adult, yeah, they're going to just do the karma wheel, which isn't going to be a big deal because you just go watch some movie. Go hear some song. Go get the dramatic teenagers. Watch how they highlight the gold in their chest somewhere from all the scars that they went through. Dark night of the soul, ego, that anyone want to accentuate. They made the spirituality journey out to be like, you lose people. I haven't lost one person. The only people, and I didn't lose them. If somebody says, hey, Maria, I don't like you, that's not me losing anyone. That's a person who's a grown-up saying, I don't like you. I respect that. Thank you. Bye. Should I go that way or do you want to go that way? This is what it's called to be an emotional, self-healthy, worth person. Anyone. I really do enjoy when I meet people like that because they have no chips on their shoulder. And then you can talk about smart stuff, like really great. They're also successful entrepreneurs, by the way. So yeah, they know actively how to have a good time. And they're men and women in days. Oh yes, no gender stereotypes. In fact, we laugh about a lot of things. Okay, so we surround ourselves with a little bit of everything. Pachas, we know how to be nice. And then we know how to tell the Cuscos, today's not the day, Cusco. Hey, squirrel, you know what? Go over there. Go play with Isma. She's more of your kind. Okay, forget the bad and no, we don't forget. There's no forgetting bad or good. Actively, there's no inherently good or evil. That's the whole point of what a divine feminine knows. That's why sciences keeps me grounded. Sciences. Oh yes, I will spell that one out in a minute. Okay, love the people. We love all people. But the ones who we don't enjoy, we kind of try to keep them away. And even giving them a consistent communication of I'm not interested in engaging doesn't work all the time. So then they actually force, quote unquote, your hand so that you can say, no, we won't become friends. We won't become acquaintances. We won't be talking. We'll just be seeing each other. And I have had this situation happen, which is why I'm using it. And that's how I responded to a human being who I consistently communicated for 3 whole years. I thought it was clear, but on a drunken night where they were fearful, no, they were rejected by someone else. I had nothing to do with it. They decided to pick on a human being, quote unquote. And I just ended up saying, yeah, we won't be friends, but we will see each other. And they said, you are putting up barriers. And I said, no, I'm just telling you how it will go. And then when I got to see them, I acknowledged them. And they said, see, at least you acknowledge me, passive aggressive. And I just turned around and continued to chit chat because, you know, at the very bare minimum, they went through such a big, huge pity party to say, am I not worthy enough to wear decent? Am I not decent enough? You make it that big of a deal. I'm going to have to acknowledge you the next time I see you because you made it seem like I didn't treat you as a decent human being. So it's more of, I will acknowledge you. And then I will ignore your passive aggressive manners because really what I could say, but I'm not a martyr superior. So I'm not going to. I don't affect states of consciousness. The divine feminine, the rabbi who thinks that we have a hard time starting something new and that we want to pull. No, we don't. You're not my dog. You're not my baby. You're not my anything. I actively will not affect a state of consciousness, not because I'm afraid of being whipped into some, I'm not going to get punished or break something. No, I actively know a human being with the absence of their own self-awareness, accountability, and regulation skills. It's a human being who needs a therapist, not a martyr, which I'm not, or a superior. I'm not either. I'm a person. I will respect, I will acknowledge as an equanimous, no ill will human being. And inside me, in fact, it's more of what I explained, the fact that you made it such a big deal, that you used chosen words of am I not decent enough makes me have to be a grown-up who acknowledges a human being's emotional sphere because that is the actively societal blah, 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 blah. And also, like I said, Pacha, don't lecture no Cusco because those ears don't hear shit. And I really don't want to waste my breath on anyone who obviously doesn't know 50 years and over what you are actively still doing. Like you actively consciously have no awareness, Pinocchio, on that island that you are actively, I mean, you can't feel bad because that would be disrespectful. Mad, no, I don't need to correct you because you didn't do anything. I'm the one who, in this case, acknowledges, and I'm using this as an example because actively this human being actually thinks they taught me something. And I'm thinking, wow, but then I remember my therapist who teach me, thank you, CM Porges, that biologically rude people, they're not in their prefrontal cortex. So I don't have a smart person. I got a person who's in their wah-wah pants of an insecure, low self-esteem human being. I don't want to lecture you. You don't hear me. You don't see yourself. You actively don't recognize the self-soothing you're not doing and that you are actively engaging in what is, go watch another movie, please. There's no words. There's no words when you actively do have respect for human beings' state of consciousness, which means you really don't notice yourself. You don't hear yourself. But I have explanation. As I said, divine feminines kept grounded and humble by sciences. The words that came through were Jesus and God, but the sciences keep me humble right here. Because I know that I, Maria, understand what I just explained to you. And I also know that that human being, for the way they actively engage with me, once again, doesn't know shit about themselves, let alone look at themselves in the mirror to wonder, wow, maybe I should go to therapy because I actively engage in behavior that is completely unnecessary. Not to mention involving a random human being, me, had nothing to do with any of whatever they were going through. Just saying, like, there's so many different angles I could bring forth when I notice people who are unaware obliviously to themselves in a way of the movies. It's not funny. I was more impressed with the first second that he interjected with me because he caught me off guard. And I was like, wow, shit, now what do I say? I don't want to be rude. If you can't say something nice, say nothing. I learned how not to be rude as a child. So we love all people except for the ones we don't really want to be around. We still love them, but then they do stuff that is whatever. Yeah, we pray for we. I don't pray. I just know that the person needs to become aware of something, but they won't. I mean, they could. Life is too short to be anything but yes, exactly. That's why we won't use our breath. No person here, healthy self-worth people, don't tell people, hey, you need to do any. No, that's again the martyrs, superiors. They have low self-esteem. So do the blamers. They're called codependent people. We don't do codependency here. It's called you are independent. There's a door. You can come and go as you please because I know that either I will tickle your fancy or I won't. And falling down is part of life. Getting back up is living. Yes, we actually don't fall down that much. Once you get the knack of attuning to your nervous system, and that's called self-soothing, yes, you don't fall. You see? Okay, great. So with that, I think I will pause so that you can assimilate this lovely buttload of information, and then we will have one more episode, as I did have these cards that I wanted to use for our messages because the energies, they're bountiful and beautiful. For the 5D collective, obviously, it means more love, not less. For the ones who are still here on Earth, well, with the human suffering, I have one name. No, I have many, but one, Patrick McNamara, Patrick Tiahan, Dr. Daniel Siegel, Sadhguru after that, just because yoga helps to put your ventral vagal in state, but actively, maybe Pat Ogden is better. That way you can get your body in. Peter Levine, he doesn't take people though. Stephen Porges, definitely. Janina Fisher, believe in yourself, but go to good therapy first. Anyone who wants to talk to me about laundry, therapy, then you come do spiritual self-help. And the spiritual bypassers, well, I already understood where 4D is going to be at, and 3D, well, hopefully they will find a place where they can. There's a song that's coming through. What is that song? A place, oh shoot. Anyways, we'll be back. Like, share, and subscribe in the meantime, and thank you for stopping by.